Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we are talking about the case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, who vanished from their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home on May 2nd, 2025. Since then, there has been no sighting of Jack and Lilly, and still yet today, we have no idea where they are. Even though there is a lot of suspicious things around their case, the stepfather, Daniel Martell, has court tomorrow unrelated to Jack and Lily's case, but is it a way for the RCMP to advance the case of Jack and Lilly? I'll explain on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They call me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul. Through the fire and flame, my scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my clouds, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, nothing cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust, hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust, hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in thy world. And you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 29th, 2026. It is currently 8:38 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, beautiful pearls. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case out of Pictou County, Nova Scotia, which is a very dear case to my heart, and I know a lot of your hearts as well. Tomorrow, the stepfather, Daniel Martell, goes into court and he will plead unrelated to Jack and Lilly, but is it a way for the RCMP to maybe progress Jack and Lily's case? And we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Good to see everyone in chat. Guys, before we get started, if you don't mind, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciated. Also, if you would be so kind and share this live out, hit share, copy the link, and share it in any of your favorite social media. Also, if you would consider hyping this live after the live stream, would mean so much as well. You get 3 a week. If you don't use it, you lose it, as they say. It would mean so much because obviously we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Everybody's talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. I'll be live here in a little bit with the Nancy Guthrie case. Got some really interesting things on that next. So yeah. I was in Daphne's live earlier, and I completely forgot about it. I need to tell Daph. Tomorrow I have a procedure. So I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how I feel in the evening. I mean, it's in the morning, but if I feel okay in the evening, then I'll go live. And if everything's good. So I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow, but if I am, it'll be normal evening time. So yeah, I was like, Daph, let's do a live together on Jack and Lilly tomorrow. And she's like, oh yeah, cool, let's go. And then I was like, oh, I don't know if you can do that, Justin, or not. So yeah. Good to see everyone in chat. Please do me a favor, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just having some dental procedures tomorrow. So, but they're not easy ones. They're not easy ones. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Yeah. Okay. Helicopter Grandma, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace. Very kind of you. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. If you received that pearl necklace, make sure you thank our dear Helicopter. Really do appreciate you, my love. And hey, Jude, thank you so much for renewing your membership and being here 22 months. Beautiful. Really do appreciate you. And you gifting a pearl necklace. Well, goodness gracious. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you receive that, make sure you thank our beautiful, beautiful Hey Jude. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so very much. Lori, good to see you, darling. Thank you so much. You're very kind to me as well. Thank you so much, Miss Lori. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so very, very much, my darling. And Sarah, hi, darling. Did you get everything moved? You've been busy. You've been busy, girl. Thank you so much, Miss Sarah. Really do appreciate you gifting 2 pearl necklaces. If you received one of those, make sure you thank our Sarah gal. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so very, very much, my love. We have a poll here. In your opinion, do you think Jack and Lilly hit 1 in chat if you believe, in your opinion, Jack and Lilly walked away on their own accord? 2, if someone on the property, in your opinion, you feel like knows what happened to Jack and Lilly? Or 3, something else. Type 1, 2, or 3 in chat, and it will automatically add that to the poll. Yeah. All right. So, Daniel has court tomorrow. Oops, excuse me. Let me put these down here. And he will, yes. Guys, please remind me to sing for, I forgot to do it the other night. I need to sing to, let me just go ahead and do it. Today is yesterday, sorry, was Minnie Panther's son's Marshall's birthday. And I'm going to do it now because I forgot it the other day. Happy birthday, Marshall, from all of us at Clutch Them Pearls to you. The world is your oyster. It's up for you to find the pearls. And guess what? Here we are. Here we are. This is my really bad rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President, that the late, great Marilyn Monroe sang to John Fitzgerald Kennedy so many years ago. 1 second. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marshall. Happy birthday to you. Oh my God. I make an idiot out of myself just to make you guys smile. I hope you know that. Okay. All right. Happy birthday, Marshall. It's Wait Watt's 60th birthday. Oh my God. Happy birthday, Wait Watt. Happy birthday. The world is your oyster. It's up for you to find the pearls. And guess what? We're right here, honey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Wait, what day? Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Happy birthday, Wait What? 60 years young and climbing, girl. And climbing. I want to make sure I do this because I don't want to forget again. All right, my darlings, let's get it started. So, like I said, Daniel is. I'm looking at my notes. 1 second. Let me get my notes here. What did I do with my ink pen? My ink pen. So yeah. Now, one thing that I wonder in Daniel's in Jack and Lily's case, again, I want to stress that it is unrelated to Jack and Lily's case. Daniel is facing unrelated charges to Jack and Lily's case, and this because there's nobody that's been named in Jack and Lily's case specifically, but he is facing SA charges assault charges, and the third one is like not letting someone go from like a confined space or something like that. Someone in chat will remember the exact charge, I'm sure. And there is only certain warrants that can be that they might be able to only get at the time when Jack and Lilly went missing. And this could potentially be a way that they could go and look deeper, more different types of warrants. And I was also thinking about this. Daniel has no prior real criminal history. He really doesn't have much of a prior criminal history. Anything really, that matters at least. Traffic infractions, speeding, like that stuff doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But I was also thinking maybe this is a way the RCMP could go after Daniel and charge him with this, right? And then later charge him with maybe another crime in the future. Do you get what I mean? I believe it's kind of similar to the United States. Help me, Canadians. It's kind of like a 3-strike, it makes you look worse, right? If there is one severe crime that you've already been in trouble for, right? And later you're charged with, let's say, for instance, that there is, they can't get everything that they need, maybe in Jack and Lily's case. They're being very patient. I believe they have a hell of a lot more, but you can't get everything you want, right? But it would make it more severe if you have been in trouble before. You know what I mean? Because first time, it depends on the crime. They might go more lenient on you. But if there is another crime later, like if you get in trouble later, it would be more severe, potentially. WTF happened to him being besties with the RCMP? I know, Andrea, right? I know. He's not driving around with them on the highway anymore. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, he loves talking. He doesn't like to talk now. He doesn't like to talk now. What does my shirt say? I don't know. I've had this shirt probably 10 years, and I still couldn't tell you, even today, what it says. That's the God's honest truth. I have no idea. Yes, Justin, building his criminal history does add to his sentence. Yes. I'm sure there will be other victims hopefully come forward after a court case. Well, it's very interesting right now because Daniel allegedly has a new gal in his life, a new gal in his life. And they all seem to believe Daniel in the beginning. They all seem to believe him until he shows them who the true callers are, right? What's that little like? He's not going for Timmy's with the RCMP anymore. Yeah. Yes. Hey, Jen. Hey, Shannon. Sherry. Green Eyes, a new victim. Yeah. Yeah. Daniel Lee, yes, Mish. Yes. They played him like a fiddle. I am certainly glad. I am certainly glad. Canada is known for bail, not jail. And you're right. You're right. It's very lenient. Canada is. You know what I mean? But the amount of pressure in this case, and hopefully the RCMP can prove that someone did something to Jack and Lilly, and they won't be as lenient, right? I also figured that this was a ploy, the RCMP, to just get him locked up. I mean, it very well could. Again, I just want to say that it is unrelated to the Jack and Lilly case. But listen, if they want you, um, they're gonna get you, right? That girls, these girls that date him are not smart. They couldn't have very good confidence in themselves, in my opinion. Sadly, I can see him getting probation, but I don't think he can successfully complete it due to his addiction. Then it will get more serious in time, in my opinion. Hmm. I agree, Brandy. I agree, but you know what I wonder. I don't know about how probation or parole is in Canada, but here in the United States, it just depends on what parole or probation officer you get. Some of them still use every day. And it makes me wonder about Daniel, him still being able to see Little Meadow. And in my opinion, and others I've spoke around Daniel, do you actually think he's clean right now? So how does that work? I'm all for protecting women from DV. However, innocent children who don't have a choice at where they live or whom they can live with and can't protect themselves is what I stand for. And it breaks my heart. Very well said, Shannon. I agree. Um, it's just not it's not about you. Um, and this is the thing with Malaya. Malaya has, in my opinion, based upon other times that she has left, just days before Jack and Lilly mysteriously vanished, she was just gone then as well. She went back many times, many times. Um, and also, um, I'm thinking that I was reading something the other day, or something Daniel or one of them said. I'm almost positive that CPS was there more than once. More than once. Almost positive. I have a new thought. I think MBK is getting a, what's that? And this is why a Carla Kamaka, and this is why. Sorry, I can't see. MBM is so quiet, and they wanted to be kept quiet. This may outrage the public, in my opinion. Um, I don't know what it is. It might be a Canadian thing. Um, I've done whole live streams about this. If you have to, like if we could find out where Jack and Lilly is, and only one of them told on one another to get a deal, would it be okay, in your opinion, to find, if we found Jack and Lilly, and there would be justice for at least, one of them getting in trouble? A plea deal. Okay, that must be another story. Is that a Canadian case, I'm assuming? Laws are different here in Nova Scotia. Sometimes it does not go the way you might think. Maybe. It honestly breaks my heart that this case frustrates me. 3 beautiful innocent. I know. Depends on who hurt the children. Well, in my opinion, you can hurt children and never lay a hand on them, essentially, in my opinion, right? You can absolutely hurt them. If one is charged with one crime, but multiple under that, does each one count for 3 strikes, or is it just one charge? In Canada, I think it's just per time, is from what I understand. It's such a fantastic term, deal with the devil. Yeah. Okay, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And where should we go first? Here? Let's go look at this. Something I want to. I think this is it right here. Give me a second. Okay. And the reason I think that you don't have to lay a hand on children to be abusive or neglectful. Neglect is neglect. And you allowing someone to continue to potentially neglect your children, lay hands on your children, live in that place that you lived in. But that's the thing, spare time. There's some people that have there's been, a lot of people that stepped away from the case, but you can't. Because if this falls silent, I don't care if there's 2 people in my room, in my chat, I'm still going to be live for Jack and Lilly. Because we have to bring awareness for these babies. They were given up on. They were given up on by the parents, the stepdad, the crazy lady that lives in the camper, all of that. And so if there is public pressure, things tend to move quicker. And that's why we still have to share these things out, hit the thumbs up, boost this, because momentum, I can't tell you how much it matters. It really matters in these cases. It really does. I know we're not talking about Daniel and Malaya and Jack and Lilly and the whole case as much right now. But Daniel, Malaya, trust me, nobody's forgotten. Okay? Nobody's forgotten.
I think so.
And have you spoken with Malaya since any of this has happened?
Yes, I did one time.
How did that go?
Actually there was twice. First time, when she was on the run with Meadow fled to the reserve when she wasn't being supervised. Darren called me and said Malaya's unsupervised. So then I called Malaya's phone from my aunt's phone because I was at my uncle's at the time. Used my aunt's phone. I called Malaya's phone. Malaya picked up, and I could tell from the background that she was in a moving vehicle. So Darren was correct on that.
Again, we don't know who Daniel's alleged victim is, but we do know the date of when this alleged crime happened, right? And I will say within that date, he was dating Malaya. And after Malaya left Daniel, one thing we do know, and Daniel, don't ever say you didn't, because I have you recorded. I literally have things that I have never shown of your recording yet. So don't say you didn't ever keep tabs on Malaya and have people follow her and have people speak to her and all of that. Okay? This man, you can tell, was obsessed with her. He is absolutely obsessed with Malaya. Very much unhealthy. And I feel bad for Malaya in that aspect.
And so then I called major crimes investigators and I said, Malaya's on the run with Meadow. And they said, there's nothing we can do, Daniel. You got to call CPS for that. Called CPS, but they were already closed. And it was actually Cindy, her own mother, which called CPS on Malaya, which had Meadow removed.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so,
that's something new that the public probably doesn't know.
And what ended up resulting? What happened? Did CPS find her, pick her up? Obviously?
CPS went to her father's house.
Now, notice how Daniel has only thrown Malaya under the bus. Malaya has never thrown Daniel under the bus since they went missing. Have you noticed that? Kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of weird that Malaya's kept quiet pretty much about everything. But Daniel has constantly thrown Malaya under the bus. Thank you, Summers Army. Thank you. Thank you, Summers Army. Love you, baby. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so very, very much for your support, my dear. Good to see you. Hopefully you are well. He's scorned. Well, I think he's scorned, yes. I think he is. I do think he's very dangerous. I think that not only is he scorned, he is trying to pass all the blame on Malaya, whenever, in my opinion, most of the blame, in my opinion, goes for that night specifically. That night specifically goes to Mr. Mathtel. Because I believe if Malaya would have never went back after Easter, coming up on a year now, Jack and Lilly would not be missing right now. And they would be opening up Easter baskets next week. Right? That is, if someone bought them for them other than Malaya and Daniel. I think Malaya is I think she gave up very easy and I think she's very lazy. But I think that's why he does this, in my opinion.
Along with RCMP, I do believe, and they actually took Meadow out of her care while she was at Henry's.
Gotcha. And Meadow's
Cassie,
been
you
in
not feeling good, honey?
CPS with CPS since.
She's in foster care.
Gotcha. And are there any like is there an end result in that? Do you guys think that she'll be in foster care for much longer?
Not sure at the moment. I mean, there's so many moving parts in this, Daniel. I'm not sure, especially with Jack and Lilly being missing in that case, because they're Malaya's children. CPS it has them included into the court case. Like they have them.
You damn right. You damn right they have Jack and Lilly into the court case. Why do you think they took Jack and Lilly, or why do you think they took Meadow in the first place, Daniel? I mean, when two kids go missing, and the parents can't explain it, or anybody on the property, and it doesn't make sense, and the conditions that they're living in, and then, more also importantly, your children who only visited every other weekend said that you were mean and abusive to Jack and Lilly.
Included in the court cases because it's involuntary, right? Because she's the mother of them. She's connected to Meadow, so they're automatically seen in the court case.
You see how he distanced himself here? She's, meaning Malaya's, connected to Meadow. She's connected to Meadow. I think you're the father.
Are there any stipulations that you have? Like, are you forced to take any drug tests or anything like that?
Very much so, spare
drug
time.
tests, and I have to do therapy, psychological.
Yes, rug test, therapy, all of that stuff, right? And does anyone? This is coming from someone who says that he did all of that and went to NA several times a week as well, just to do it pretty
First
much.
thing I do is when I don't hear them, I get up and I.
Now listen to this. Listen to the giggle in his voice. The first thing I do is I get up because, it is such a hilarious thing to, talk about, right? You're talking about some of the worst moments in your life, not finding your children, your stepchildren.
First thing I do is when I don't hear them, I get up and I.
You hear that?
First thing I do is when I don't hear them, I get up and I, get dressed, and me and her make our way out to the kitchen. And this thing I still find odd to this day. I told investigators this is Malaya didn't look in Jack and Lily's room when we went up, when we walked to the kitchen, right?
Okay.
So I was listening to these. I've got some new perspectives after a while. Notice how before he even knows the kids are missing, he is already throwing Malaya under the bus. Because they both got up. They just didn't hear the kids. They're looking for the kids at this point. But he's already throwing Malaya under the bus. Malaya didn't go and look in the room, right? Daphne, I have to talk to you. I have kind of a big dental procedure tomorrow. And they kind of knocked me out tomorrow. So I don't know. I was just saying at the beginning of this, after I was in your live stream, I'm going to try to do the live stream tomorrow. I just don't know how I'm going to feel. So if I'm okay, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll talk to you in a little bit about it, if that's okay. I really want to do it tomorrow because there'll be some stuff out about Daniel, I'm sure.
So I found that odd because we both walked up together up the hallway to the kitchen. And then I poked my head I looked into the living room, didn't see the kids. I ran back to the room, looked underneath their beds and stuff, didn't see them. So then we made our way outside, right? Malaya stood in the kitchen when I was running like a moron through the house looking for the kids. And
who says a moron didn't look in the room because it's all lies? Absolutely. Absolutely. None of this happened that morning. None of it. Absolutely none of it. Except, in my opinion, Daniel being back behind his mom's house, which I believe that is whenever, before RCMP came, he was, in my opinion, planting a blanket.
we made our way outside. You know, we got through the fence, and then we're standing right in front of Mom's RV.
The fence isn't up.
And she asked me, should I call 911? Right? That's, kind of instinctual. You want to do that, right?
Right.
Because we don't hear.
Okay. Again, I look at things in different ways after things progress and after you've got time to re-examine it later. Again, he is trying to make Malaya look bad here. If Daniel and Malaya are in this together, meaning Jack and Lilly walked away on their own, right? If Jack and Lilly really walked away on their own, they, no matter what, are going to be in lockstep because they experienced the same thing that morning. This is traumatic for them. However, Daniel's not doing that. Daniel is firing shots, so to speak, at Malaya anytime he can. Any way to make her look like the bad guy, right? Why? Why? Should I call 911? Yeah, it's instinctual, right? And then notice how they both use very similar words. Instinctual. Malaya said, because it's instinct, right? Daniel says, well, yeah, you should call 911. It's instinctual, right? Tell me it's scripted without being scripted. Daniel spent his airtime talking about himself and his innocence. Nothing much about Jack and Lilly. Absolutely. Absolutely. One second. I had a note about something about that kind of earlier. I was looking at my notes.
Hear them out in the yard. We never seen them in the house. We don't see them in the backyard. I didn't know if Mom was even home or not.
Notice how he just says we never seen them in the house. We never seen them in the house. But Daniel, you just seen them in the house 20 minutes prior. You just seen Lily 20 minutes ago, right? We never seen them in the house. How interesting. Because that morning didn't happen, Daniel. Didn't happen. Listen to that again.
Well, you want to do that, right?
Right.
Because we don't hear them out in the yard. We never seen them in the house. We don't see them in the backyard. I didn't know if mom was even at home or not, right? Because I thought she might have went with my uncle Ron.
Mhm.
So she's on the phone with 911. I run up into the woods where the cabins are and look in the cabins, look around the area. Didn't see them. I'm screaming, yelling, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack. And then I make my way down. There's a hill behind mom's RV. I make my way down, and Malaya's standing there. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone with 911. She might have been on speakerphone. Kind of looks like she was messaging, but she might have been on speakerphone with that, with the, this.
Okay, a few things there. Again, Malaya's not doing anything. And that was always weird to a lot of us because you would think you would hand the baby to Janie or something and say, watch Meadow. I've got to go look for my kids. But she didn't. But Daniel wants to say that he's the one doing it all, right? And he's the one that's been doing it all. And when Jack and Lilly went missing, he's the one that did it all. And Malaya's standing there like a bump on a log. Interesting. Could it be that the reason Malaya was standing there, just standing there, was because there was nowhere for her to go? There was nowhere for her to look. It had already happened. You might have been running around a little crazy, Daniel. Maybe trying to potentially plant something, or hide something, or do whatever. But for Malaya, it was already done.
Dispatch. And so I say, I'm jumping in the car. So I ran inside. I tried to go into the front door. I say, I'm jumping in the car. So I ran inside. I say,
Hold on.
I say, I'm jumping in the car.
Okay, I run. So I run. I say, I'm jumping in the car.
So I ran inside. I tried to go in.
So he says he's jumping in the car, but then he runs inside. He jumps in the car, but then he runs inside.
To the front door.
Okay. Notice how he mentions that front door. I believe, in my opinion, that he ripped that door wide open before the RCMP got there. Because, in my opinion, he was locking people in that house when Daniel wanted to control them. And it wouldn't look good, I don't know, with the front door bolted shut, would it, Daniel?
Door's locked. Ran through the back door, the back sliding door, got into the house, grabbed the keys off the end table, because there was 2 sets of keys, right? And then I didn't take my phone.
Again, grab my keys off the table because there was 2 sets of keys, right? He only mentions those 2 sets of keys for a damn reason. Let it be known, Daniel is not intelligent, in my opinion. However, he is shiesty little shit. He's a little weasel, and he thinks he's clever, But he is mentioning that not for necessarily us, but for later, for the RCMP. For the RCMP. Oh, yeah, because there was 2 keys, right? Hey, Kim. Good to see you, honey.
Well, I don't remember taking my phone because there.
Remembers everything else, right? Members, so many details about him searching. He knows these details about him searching for Jack and Lilly. He knows the details of Malaya not doing the things that she should, right? He knows some details about his mother. He knows that Ron might have been picking her up or whatever. But before Jack and Lilly went missing, before they were walked out the door, doesn't really remember a lot. And especially that night before Jack and Lilly go missing, inside the house, he tends to get amnesia. Interesting. That's why you wanted to try to confuse the RCMP, Daniel, that Wednesday and Thursday, you tried to confuse them. RCMP said, "We think Daniel is mistaken."
There's no service out there anyway. Not like I can use it.
Then why would you mention your phone? If there's no service out there, why even mention it? You mentioned that for a reason, right? You mentioned that for a reason.
So I left my phone on the end table. I'm pretty sure I left it on the end table.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators would know that for 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So grab the keys.
Grabbed my keys or grabbed.
Ran out to the Nissan path.
This is where I caught him a while back.
So I left my phone on the end table. I'm pretty sure I left it on the end table. Investigators would know that for 100%. So grab my keys.
He grabbed his keys. Even though there's 2 sets of keys, he says. Think about that. I grabbed my keys. But earlier, he said there was 2 sets of keys, right? Okay. Grabbed my keys. He says it twice. And then he says grabbed the keys.
Grab the keys. Ran out to the Nissan Pathfinder. And that's when I started that for 100%. So grab the keys. Ran out to the Nissan Pathfinder. And that's when I started to search the dirt roads and the culverts, right?
That Nissan Pathfinder.
So I went up Lansdowne Road, and I already told investigators this, but that blanket was not there in that tree.
Which direction?
Listen to how he talks here. He says, went up Lansdowne. And by the way, that blanket wasn't there. He just wants to check off these boxes. Right? I was in the other chat. You are frozen on that side. Perfect. Let me see here. Am I still frozen? Okay. Not until you placed it there. Well, yeah, but exactly. But he doesn't speak about where else he went. He just says he went up Lansdowne Station. And by the way, there was no blanket there. He doesn't finish speaking about where he went after that. He just wanted to say, I got in that. He wanted to check off these boxes. I got in that Nissan Pathfinder, right? Started checking dirt roads and culverts, went up Lansdowne, and by the way, there was no blanket there at that time. Except it was fucking sticking out like a sore thumb.
Were you
That would be when I'm coming up
Listen to that.
Were you
down road and or
Listen.
grabbed the keys, ran up to the Nissan Pathfinder, and that's when I started to search the dirt roads and the culverts, right? So I went up Lansdowne Road, and I already told investigators this, but that blanket was not there in that tree.
There he goes. He just wants you to know he's driving Lansdowne tree or blanket, right? Grabbed my keys, grabbed her keys, white Nissan Pathfinder, Lansdowne blanket tree. That's it.
Which direction were you
That would be when I'm coming out the end of the driveway, and I'm going right toward Lansdowne Road, over the tracks, and then hanging a hard right.
So you were coming the direction that would have been visible to you, and you didn't see it.
Yeah, I'd be going. Right at the end of the driveway. I take a right. I'm going up the road.
Across the railroad tracks, and then the right up of the dirt road.
Yeah, that's Lansdowne Road where the blanket was found.
All right. So when you're running around and as you're going outside and you're looking, that gate outside, is it always open?
Question about this. All right. Let's look at the map here. Okay. Let's look at the map here. Why would Daniel, here is Gerlach Road, right? He says he goes right, goes over the train tracks, and then out of all places, guys, I was just thinking about this. Like I said, I see things in a new perspective now when I step back a little bit. He goes here, he turns right. The first fucking place he goes is down Lansdowne. He doesn't continue going down straight. He doesn't let me show you what I mean. He doesn't. Here's his home. Am I frozen? Hold on. What the hell's going on? Uh-oh. Give me a second. It's wanting to, it's freezing on me. Okay. Let me show. Okay. There we go. So check this out. Daniel, this is their home where Jack and Lilly say they vanished. He makes a right going out the driveway, comes straight down here and says he goes down Lansdowne. And guess what? There was no pink blanket down here, he says. No pink blanket down here. He doesn't continue after he, most people would just continue to go straight for a little bit, turn around, or, they would turn right and go up through here. He not only says exactly what the neighbor says, almost verbatim, of what the neighbors, more than one, said that Daniel drove the night before. But he, out of all the places he goes, out of all the places Daniel goes that morning, he goes down the road where allegedly a planted blanket was found and some boot prints. Imagine that. Interesting, isn't it? How interesting. Daniel turns right down that road. Out of all the places he can go, the first place this mother chicken goes is down the road where the blanket is planted and the boot prints. Yeah, he doesn't continue going straight. He doesn't turn around and go the other direction. He does eventually, after he goes down through here. But Daniel, the neighbor saw you that night. RCMP, in my opinion, now knows that you were fucking around that night. Oh, she was in here the night before last, Deb, I think. Thank you so much, Lucy's friends. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Really, really do appreciate that, my dear. Oh, absolutely, me and you. Absolutely. He said like a moron because a moron who knew the kids weren't there, run around looking for them. Subconscious confession. Just Josie. That is correct. And that's a very good point. Okay. I know where my pin is, right? I'm going to run around the house acting like I don't know where my pin is, even though I know it's right here. Right? I'm just going to start looking around. I'm going to feel like a moron. Yeah, exactly. Great point. Great point. But it's just very interesting that when he jumps in his, or Malaya's 2017 white Nissan 4-cylinder, 4 wheels, 6 windows, 1 steering wheel, leather seats, powered windows, tinted windows, 2 car seats, Nissan Pathfinder. He goes exactly in the direction that this blanket and shoe prints are found. You telling yourself every time, Daniel. You fucking telling yourself every time. What happened between midnight and 5 a.m.? Daniel goes, allegedly, or someone goes out of this home a few times, several times. And the neighbor recalled hearing Daniel's black vehicle that he drove. That where is that vehicle at, Daniel, by the way? Durwood, where's that at? He goes down here. They say that he crosses the tracks. It says they go down here a little whiles, yet for a couple minutes, he doesn't, the vehicle's cut off. Then Daniel, or someone, they say it's Daniel's car, backs up, turns around, crosses the railroad tracks again, and then goes in this direction that night. 2:30 and 3:10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. How interesting, right? Okay.
Was it unlocked? Was it locked?
Sometimes it's open.
Was it open that morning?
I do not remember that. I don't remember if the. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. And so you come
It's
around.
not hard. It's not hard to open up gates anyway. They're just slide. Like I always forget to close. My mom always reminds me, but they're just a slide and bolt lock, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing hard about those locks at all.
Well, maybe not, but I'm just kind of curious because I mean, if you can unlock it and open it, but if you're on the other side of the fence and you're small, can you reclose it?
Yeah, you can. You can. All you do is just pull the fence close to you and then close it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
So it may not.
He wants you to know that that gate was very easy to unlock for those kids, right? Even though there wasn't a freaking fence up, let alone a damn gate, Daniel.
That'd be a clue there. So you're out there searching in the woods. How long before law enforcement arrived?
I was told 12 minutes.
Okay.
But then when I looked at the documentation and, asked questions and dug further, it was 22 minutes, I do believe.
And were you at the house when they arrived?
I was actually, when they were arriving, I was actually coming back to the house in the car. And I couldn't park in the driveway because RCMP just stopped in the yard, right?
Okay.
Because they were just starting to walk down and talk to Malaya. So what I did is I parked the white Nissan Pathfinder.
That's when he says I used to think it was blue, but now I think he was going to say black. The blah. That's what he says. The blah. He almost told on himself. I parked the blah.
And I couldn't park in the driveway because RCMP just stopped in the yard, right?
Okay.
Because they were just starting to walk down and talk to Malaya. So what I did is I parked the white Nissan Pathfinder.
I mean the white, right? Now, he's talking about, and I, mark my words, this is going to be significant. Because Daniel says and does everything for a reason. He says the RCMP and all of them are already, parked up here and up next to the road and all that. But he parks down here. He parks Malaya's vehicle down here. He did that for a reason. I don't know if there was something in the car at the time. Oh, it's of course it's fishy that he made the make and the color of the vehicle. Yeah, because if he was just telling the truth, you would have just said Malaya's vehicle, Malaya's car. The one she literally just got legal a couple days before. Or the day before. But he parks a vehicle down here. Now, there is parking all through here. I know that he could have gotten parked a lot closer. He parked down there for a reason. Mark my words. Let's see here. 97.92 meters. 321 feet. 321 feet there. 321 feet there. More than 300 feet there. 300 feet there. Let's measure this driveway, and there's actually, you can pull up to there, but his driveway is 153 feet. He parked down there for a reason. I don't know if something was still in his vehicle or what, but I can guarantee you that Daniel parked down there, and he told us that he parked down there for a reason. Everyone points out what is important to them. Was there a bog there? You mean like a swamp? That is a swamp. And you know something? It always makes me wonder because, and again, I don't think Jack and Lilly are here by any stretch of imagination, but I've always wondered, did he throw something? Because he says, I went through all the lakes and the streams and culverts and all that. It always makes me wonder if he threw something in there. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss Joyous.
Because that's the car Malay owns, the 2017 Nissan White Pathfinder.
Oh God, this just never ceases to amazes me. Not Malay's car, not I got in the car, not in I got in my car. I got in Malaya's 2017 Nissan Pathfinder because that's what Malaya. Again, blaming Malaya for whatever. Wants you to know that I got in Malaya's car. Malaya's. Because that's what she has. Is a 2017 Nissan White Pathfinder. 4-cylinder, 4 wheels, 1 steering wheel, 2 car seats, 3 wipers.
When they were arriving, I was actually coming back to the house in the car, and I couldn't park in the driveway because RCMP just stopped in the yard, right?
Okay.
Is they were just starting to walk down and talk to Malaya. So what I did is I parked the white Nissan Pathfinder, because that's the car Malaya owns, the 2017 Nissan White Pathfinder.
He's overcompensating right there because he almost fucked up. You can see his eyes close. You can see how uncomfortable he gets. So he overcompensates right there because that's what Malaya owns.
And I parked over on the right-hand side of the marsh, going toward Lansdowne Road. There's a marsh that's right beside the house there. Probably can pull that up on the map. There's a little driveway that's right beside it. It's about 100 feet from the house.
Okay. Go around here?
Yeah, that's actually the marsh. And there's a little driveway right on the left-hand side right there. Yep.
Daniel, it's 321 feet.
That's where I parked in the white Nissan Pathfinder.
He says it again. That's where I parked that Nissan White Pathfinder.
Okay.
And then when I jumped out of the car, the RCMP yelled at me from in the yard, right? Because they could see me clearly.
Yeah.
And they said,
Now, again, I told you because I've kind of stepped away and I see some things in a new way now. Also, why I think he might have thrown something in there. Maybe it was temporary. Maybe he went back and got it. Because he says, when I jumped out, the RCMP could clearly see me. Like all their eyes are on Daniel by that bog, that swamp where the car is. Not all these people, he says, are rushing toward Malaya in a second. But he says, I jumped out of the 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder, and the RCMP could clearly see me. I think he put something in that swamp temporarily. Maybe permanently, but temporarily.
Daniel,
Listen.
there's a little driveway right on the left-hand side right there. Yep. That's where I parked in the white Nissan Pathfinder.
Okay.
And then when I jumped out of the car, the RCMP yelled at me from in the yard, right? Because they could see me clearly.
Yeah.
And they said, Daniel, don't go back into the woods. So at that point, I didn't go back into the woods. I walked over to the house.
Okay. How did they know you were in the woods, Daniel? They just got there. How did they know you weren't coming home from work? How did they know you weren't coming home from the airport or from the gas station, from the grocery store? But they clearly seen you when you jumped out of that vehicle, and they said, don't go back in the woods, Daniel. First and second of all, how the fuck did they know your name? How did they know your name? And that where you were? You didn't have a phone, right? It's a new vehicle that Malaya got. It had just been legal a day. So come on now. Come on, Daniel. You wonder why people don't believe you? I'll tell you why. Because you lie. And it's very easily provable.
House and into the woods. So yeah, that's actually the marsh, and there's a little driveway right on the left-hand side right there. Yep. That's where I parked in the white Nissan Pathfinder.
Okay.
And then when I jumped out of the car, the RCMP yelled at me from in the yard, right? Because they could see me clearly.
Yeah.
And they said, Daniel, don't go back into the woods. So at that point, I didn't go back into the woods. I walked over to the house, and I went down. I was talking to my mother because.
Yeah. Whenever the RCMP is just getting there, right? They know very little when the police of any sort first gets there. Daniel says they're just getting there. They're just starting to swarm Malaya. But they know him by name. They know he's already in the woods and all of that. Very interesting to me. Oh my goodness, Joyous. Thank you so much, Mamacita. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. You're very kind, Miss Joyous. Love you, darling. Appreciate you very, very, very much. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, make sure you give Mamacita Joyous a big, big thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lovey. He wasn't even there, in my opinion. He wasn't even where? What do you mean he wasn't even there? But see, Daniel said when Malaya was on the phone with 911, he's like, I'd tell her, yeah, you should call 911. It's instinct, right? And then he says he runs up to the cabins. And then he says when he starts running back, Malaya might be on the phone still with 911, or she may be looking at her phone, or she may be texting. He says 3 different things. But then he goes to the front door of the house and it's locked. So he turns around and then he goes to the back door. And then he says he goes inside and beside on the nightstand, there is 2 sets of keys, right? Because Malaya has 2 sets of keys to the 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder. So I get a set of keys because she has 2 sets of keys, right? And then I get in the car and he goes straight down out of all the places, the first area he goes, he makes a right. And then he makes another right and he goes down Lansdowne Station, which is where the blanket was planted and the shoe prints are found. He doesn't just go down here and turn around. He doesn't go right first and go up this road. He goes to the first place down the road where the kids, Lily's blanket was found and the boot prints. And then he says he goes up all the dirt roads, all the streams and all of that. And then the RCMP is coming in here, right? And he can't park anywhere because, he can't get in the driveway. So he parks down here and he jumps out, and the RCMP automatically see him because he's not doing anything wrong, right? And then after they see him, they say, Daniel. How they know his name? Hell if I know. Don't go back in the woods. How do they know he was in the woods? Hell if I know. Right? You're bad at this, Daniel. You're really bad. I am so thankful to the good Lord that you're bad at this. I really am. So thankful. Sammy, thank you so much, baby. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my love. Really do appreciate you, Sammy. Hashtag justice for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
The RCMP just, offer.
I'm telling you, we just cannot give up on it. We got to keep the pressure on Jack and Lily's case because public awareness really matters in these cases, and you gotta stay on it because you don't want the RCMP to forget. If they don't feel that pressure, it doesn't move as quickly or may not ever move as well. Like I said, I'm not quitting. If there's 2 people in my chat, which is Jack and Lilly, I'll be here.
Officers just swarmed Malaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they asked you to stay there. They asked her to.
Right. Like I said, they just swarm Malaya. The officers, now you tell me this. They swarm Malaya. All right. So he says there's no room to park here. But RCMP is just getting there, right? How many cars came at once? Because he has nowhere to park. Did 17 cars show up at once, Daniel? Because if all the cars are just showing up at once, right? And Daniel is just getting there as well. Does all the RCMP get out of their cars at once? Because for everyone to show up at one time and there not be parking for you anywhere in this 300 and some feet in this direction or this direction or this direction or this direction or the 150 feet of your driveway, and that's just to the tip of your house, right? All 17 cars had to show up at once, and you had to get out of your vehicle, and they had to automatically look at you, right? As soon as they got out of the car, they had to automatically look at you and said, "Don't go in the woods, Daniel." Okay? And they just swarm Malaya. Because you have to think about it. If there's 2 or 3 cars here, right? They're just starting to show up when Daniel gets there. Daniel can pull up here. He can pull over here. He can pull up here. He can pull up here. He can pull in the grass. He can pull behind him. But there would have to be a lot of cars there for him to have to pull all the way down there. Oh, he tells on himself every time. Goodness gracious.
Stay there. Did they look into your Pathfinder or the Pathfinder? Did they search it?
No, they didn't at all.
Shame on you, RCMP. Shame on you. Because based upon his statements that he said, just that we covered, when he pulled down there, which Daniel doesn't do anything without a damn reason, guarantee you that. Doesn't say anything without a reason either. And you don't search his vehicle. And Daniel said they had eyes on me as soon as I jumped out of the car. And then you have Malaya's stepdad. What's his name? He said there was something in one of the vehicles even days after, like a day or something after, of Lily's, like a jacket or something.
Now,
At any point?
not that I know of.
Wait, thank you. And Sandwich, someone was just asking about you a minute ago, honey. And if RCMP didn't in the beginning, you failed Jack and Lilly too on that.
Now, was this the vehicle that went with Malaya? Like, I think it was towed later.
Yeah, it was actually towed by Commander of Operations. The guy's name is Josh. And he was actually pretty pissed about where they left it. They left it right at the bottom of Lansdowne Road when they left.
Interesting. And so,
yeah. So he was pretty pissed about it. He said,
okay, I don't like him using that cuss word. So, yeah. Okay. Now I need to pull up something else right here so I can make a point and screw Daniel's entire timeline up. 1 second. I gotta find it. Bear with me. Yeah, he's not good at this at all. At all. What time is it? Let me see here. Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying. Is that it? No. Damn. Okay. I got. What time is my next live? I don't know how much I can get into this. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I got it. Here we go. Sorry, guys, I had to pull it up. 10:30. Okay.
days.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people might say, "Oh, well, this is going to your uncle's house. Maybe you planted them." I find it weird. I don't understand why somebody would plant evidence that's leading to the direction of a.
I've never
They
actually
have?
seen the actual location of the footprint in real.
Never seen the footprint, except he shows exactly the branch that the blanket was hanging from, and then he shows the direction, like the area that the footprint was in. And he interrupts Daniel here because it's uncomfortable for him. So he's got to always be in what he thinks is control.
Life.
Yeah.
So I told investigators this, and I've never seen the actual blanket hanging in the tree. I've never seen that.
Gotcha.
So
Right, but he essentially lied about it for thank you, Magdalena. He essentially lied about it for a couple weeks. Got it.
So when is the next day comes? Searchers are out there. How long are searchers in the area searching for Jack and Lilly?
for the first initial search, I think it was like 6 or 7 days. I'd have to relook it out.
Now, remember, the call comes in at 10 o'clock. They're there by like 10:25 or something like that. By 10:35, 10 minutes later, they have drones up. They didn't mess around. That is one thing I give them. Didn't mess around. From about 10:25 a.m. on Friday, was it Friday? They go all through Friday into Saturday, all through the night, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, into Sunday. It was about 48 hours of continuous, non-stop searching. And they say that they were gone 20 minutes. And that's 20 minutes that they were last heard them in the house and got on their shoes and was playing outside and then vanished. No.
Or look at all the actual how many days they were here for, but it was 6 or 7 that for the first initial search, and then they came back the next weekend and they did that search as well. And that doesn't include when the dive teams came in. I talked with those guys after they were done finishing Lansdowne Lake and some of the ponds and the streams, and they assured me that there was no evidence that the kids were near any water.
Interesting. And your property.
It's very interesting how he says there's no evidence that the kids were near any water. But he says he was up to lakes, wading in lakes and creeks and streams and culverts and in his car and all that, and searching for 10 or 20 minutes. And he used the words evidence. There's no evidence that the kids were near in any water. There's no evidence that they were anywhere, Daniel. Water or no water. And it's always interesting how you talk about the creeks and the streams and the lakes and wading up to your waist. Isn't that interesting, y'all? I find that very interesting. Just me.
I know it was recently searched with the cadaver dogs.
Yep.
How many times has it been searched by the search team? and the dogs, whether it was the first time they were out there or second, third? How many times in totality?
The amount of times the property was searched was, I can't even put a number on it, Daniel, because it was constantly new people coming in and walking through the property. Like for the whole time, there was just new people coming in. I mean, there's the amount of ribbons I see around. It's in the thousands in Lansdowne.
Gotcha.
And you know what? In my opinion, there doesn't need to be one fucking ribbon, Daniel, because you, in my opinion, and Malaya, in my opinion, maybe others, know where they are. Every person, God bless every volunteer that was out there searching days in, days out, risking life and limb. When 2 kids were wrongfully done even before they went missing, and then they go missing and probably weren't alive. When all of these people are out there looking, searching, emotional, and you and Malaya are there to deceive. That's it. Just deceive for your own selfish gain.
And so they're coming in, they're searching the property. How long before you're brought into a police station?
I was brought in. I don't remember what day I was brought in because all the days mashed together.
Mhm.
But I was brought in by 2 investigators that were originally on the case.
Okay.
And I haven't seen those guys in a while now. We'll say that.
Yeah.
But those 2 original guys took me in, and we went into the Stellarton detachment, which is in Pictou County, not the major crimes headquarters that's in Bible Hill.
Mhm.
But I sat in a room with them, and they bought me some food and some coffee, which we know why that was for, right? Collect DNA.
Yeah.
So interesting how this happens now. Daniel's talking about DNA back then. Well, we know why they bought me, bread and crumpets, whatever the hell they gave him, because it was for my DNA, right? And now we know that they collected DNA from Daniel. Again, Daniel says everything for a reason, to get ahead. You know what I mean? Oh, Magdalena, thank you so much, my dear. You are very kind. Appreciate you. No, guys, I'm in my feelings right now. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for gifting 2 pearl necklaces. Very kind of you, my love. If you received one of those, make sure you give our girl Magdalena a big, big thank you. Thank you for your support, my dear. Really do appreciate that. And Miss Helicopter, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Helicopter Grandma. You received that. Make sure you give our Helicopter Grandma a big, big thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Really, really do appreciate that, my dear. And then Miss April, how you doing, girl? Appreciate you. Thank you for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate that. If you received that, make sure you give April a big thank you. And thank you for 4 months. Thank you for never forgetting about these beautiful babies. I absolutely can never forget about Jack and Lilly. Can't forget about Jack and Lilly. Sebastian, Summer, there's Michael Vaughn. Can't forget about these babies. Absolutely. Thank you so much, April, for your support. Really do appreciate you. And what's up, my love? 13 months. Really do appreciate your continued support, my dear. Daniel won't be so confident tomorrow. Yeah, I wonder how he's going to plead. Judge, how do you plead? Daniel, please, 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 please.
And
I would plead.
they never had to ask me for any of that. I was willing to give them everything.
Right.
But yeah, we ran over the timeline the 2 days prior, and I drew them a map of everywhere I went during the search. And
now listen to that. my foe right here.
I drew them a map of everywhere I went during the
Hold on.
search. They never had to ask me for any of that. I was willing to give them everything.
So
Right.
funny.
Yeah, we ran over the timeline the 2 days prior, and I drew them a map of everywhere I went during the search.
He tells them about the 2 days that he went over prior, but again, it was just an ordinary day. Daniel couldn't remember, literally the night before. Like, you couldn't remember last night because they talked to you very soon. Daniel, they talked to you obviously the day Jack and Lilly went missing, and you couldn't remember last night. And more importantly,
Drew them a map of everywhere I went during the search.
he can remember a map, y'all. He can remember a map of everywhere he searched. I'm impressed, Daniel. I'm impressed. Hopefully. Oh, God, I can't. I'm just not going to say it. Oh, Lord, help me. Sky Painter, thank you so much, Justice for breaking our faith over games. Amen. 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 Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for your continued support. I want to see his coloring pages. Yeah, I get really mad.
And also we just talked about everything that led up to where I was that day, sitting down talking to them.
What does that mean? He changes that. He changes that on a dime. Listen to him.
And also we just talked about everything that led up to where I was that day, sitting down talking to them.
We just talked about what led up to that day, just talking to them. You can't remember the night before, Daniel. And you're drawing them a map and giving them also notebooks of pages that you've said in other interviews. And
was this after that you and Malaya were no longer in communication?
Yeah, this was after that, yeah.
Okay. And so did you
hold on, what was that? Maybe I missed something.
Led up to where I was that day, sitting down talking to them.
And
where I was that day, I think he means like where I was up till the event of talking to them. But that might be interesting.
After that
you might
and
be
Malaya
right.
were no longer in communication?
I know.
Yeah, this was after that, yeah.
Okay. And so did you drive in there on your own? Did they pick you up?
No, they actually drove. Whenever they needed me, they actually came and got me.
Got you.
Because they wanted to know for 100% that I was coming or not, or so they always came and got me. Like I was with them every day for the first, quite a few days. Like I seen them every day. That wasn't my first interrogation though. I wasn't sitting in the Stoughton dispatch or Stoughton department. That was my very first actual audio recording with them. Was
wanted to make sure Daniel, they picked Daniel.
The second day of the search before Malaya left. I actually sat in with major crimes officers and we recorded everything that I did and everything I knew of so far up there. I mean, up until.
You hear what he says right there? Right before Malaya left. I see this in a whole new light now. Some of these interviews, because I've had time to step back a little bit and you hear things differently. He says, right before Malaya left, and then he says, I talked to major crimes that day. Listen.
Up there, I mean, up until they were so far out. Everything that I did and everything I knew of so far up there. I mean,
everything I knew and everything I did so far up there. I mean, hold on. Listen.
was the second day of the search before Malaya left. I actually sat in with major crimes officers and we recorded everything that I did and everything.
And I sat in with major crime officers and recorded everything that I did and everything that I said. Well, if you're recording it, you dumbass, of course you are. It's recording everything you did and said. They're interviewing you. You have to give them the correct information of what you did and said, though. But listen.
I knew was so far out.
Here we go.
Everything that I did and everything I knew was so far up there. I mean, up until they were
everything I did and everything that I said and everything I knew for so far up there. What does that mean? Up there, yes. Everything that I knew and everything that I said and everything I knew of so far up there. I mean, up until they were. He's fucking up here, and he's trying to fix it.
And everything I knew was so far up there. I mean, up until they were talking to me.
And
so we actually, during the interrogation at the Scotia Dispatch, we actually went over a lot of the stuff. They were talking to me.
And so
we recorded everything that I did and everything I knew was so far up there. I mean, up until they were talking to me. And so we actually, during the interrogation at the Scotia Dispatch, we actually went over a lot of the stuff we already did, just so they could cross-reference, right?
And how long were you out there for at the dispatch?
What was that?
How long did that interview take? Was it a couple of hours?
The original one, sitting in the major crimes van with them, that was about 45 minutes to an hour. And then, but the actual interrogation, if you want to call it, at the Scotia Dispatch, that one was almost 4 hours.
Jeez, that's extensive. And so you walk in there, they're asking you some questions for 4 hours. Do they ever get accusatory?
No, not at all.
They wanted to be your best friend, Daniel. They wanted to be your best friend. Yeah. Guys, thank you all so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate you. Sky Painter, thank you so much for 4 months. As well, my dear, just saw that. This is for Jack and Lilly True Favorite Games. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I am going live with Nancy Guthrie here in just a moment. Got some interesting things. Really been thinking about this, and some interesting things. If you're interested in the Nancy Guthrie case, come and join me. I'll be live in about 10 minutes from now. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. Like I said, I have a procedure tomorrow. I got to tell Daphne I didn't think about it until after I left her chat earlier. But if I feel good tomorrow, if I feel okay and I can talk, I will be live tomorrow. If I feel good. So I'll let you all know. Hey, baby monkey, good to see you, Smiley. Thank you, Enoch. Hello, everyone. In my opinion, just before MBM left, he is insinuating that she left because of he was scared of what he said. Maybe. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Joyous. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Sandwich. Everyone, thank you, loves. Appreciate you guys. All right, I'll be live in just a few minutes. Thank you, guys. God bless. Justice for Jack and Lilly. Daniel, watching you tomorrow. Thank you, Magdalena. Sent you a text message. Good luck with your procedure. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Okay, I'll look at that. Thank you, guys.